platforms. Twitter, you can do us a WhatsApp message, and we will definitely talk to you at some point on the program this morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Polity. Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Thank you for staying with us this morning. It's the Polity this Saturday morning. Wale Bakar is my name. Dimeji Kadi Adedeji is with me this morning. As I said earlier, because Mr. Biodun Lashile, who is also the second of our panelists this morning on the program, also with us. Well, we'll just touch on quite a number of issues just before we get joined by our guest this morning on the program. Mr. Lashile, good morning. Great to have you in the studio.
Good morning and Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you very.
I am a birthday boy. I still for
yes.
So I'm still enjoying that.
I know it was your birthday on the 1st of January. I'm guessing that after the show, we'll then do an after party afterwards. Good morning. Well, as I said, we'll touch on quite a number of issues. It's been a week of a lot of activities, as the countdown to the general elections continue. And many look at 2023 and say, oh, it's a critical year. We cannot afford to get it wrong, blah, blah, blah. There are also some that have said that, well, it's just another election. Some of the things that have been said out of the 2023 elections have been said in previous elections, and Nigerians have always found a way to pull through. But even the president has said that much, saying it is a very crucial year. And for some Nigerians, they look at it and say, well, they've not seen anything different. For you, Mr. Admiji, would you look at the general elections? How crucial are they? How crucial is the year 2023? Or is it just another election for you?
Definitely, it is very crucial. Crucial in the sense that Nigerians, we are looking ahead to have better government to be put in place. In addition to that, I will only just implore electorates to ensure that they follow their conscience and avoid being misinformed or misled in the course of this election. The idea of money for hand, back for grant, in quotes, should be things of the past. Because if you collect 1,000 naira, it's as good as you are putting yourself into slavery for another 1,000 years. So I will advise and I will caution electorates, Nigerians generally, that we should be very wary of antics of some politicians who doesn't have genuine intention. Rather, they are interested in their pocket and selfish interest. So we should be very conscious of that. And from the INEC, I believe that with what is on ground now, they are to perform better. Unlike before now, we had the issue of election rigging was the order of the day. I believe with this present development, to rig these days may be a little bit very difficult.
Well, Mr. Lashile, he talks about the electorates and how they need to do things differently. A number of times I've heard you say it might be tough, to get the electorates to do things differently. I don't know whether you've had a change of heart from some of the things that you've seen or some of the things that you've heard. Are there any chance? A lot of people look at this election and say, "Oh, it's going to be a surprise." Do you see that surprise happening, or do you see the electorate? I'm not saying surprise in the sense of would be winning, but surprise in terms of turnout, in terms of enthusiasm of the electorate to be a part of it, and how many people will be a part of the election overall.
Quite honestly, I anticipate. We can see the anxiousness. Quite honestly, it's a year that most Nigerians are looking for, and I bet you, and I want to come back on this program to say that the percentage of the voters will be increased, no matter how marginal. I assure you. We will come back on this program to say it, that those that will come out to vote will be more. Even when you said you may not, you are not particularly asking, there can be surprise. Even in the person who wins. I'm not talking about the biggest. I'm not talking about the presidency. Even in some of, because I am anticipating that personality may count in this coming election. Personality may count. And also, like my co-discussant said, genuine intention. Maybe after this program, we still need to give me that definition of a politician with genuine intention. Which genuine intention? We can aggregate our voice here that we know the antics of politicians. So before we can have genuine politicians with genuine intentions, will be when everything about politicking is beyond people's interests. When it is primarily beyond symbols, that it is ideological based. There will be ideals so that people can now say, this is where I have pitched my tent. Just like the football. Even let's bring football here. People will say Arsenal for life. They will say Barca, because you can't just switch easily. If you can bring sportsmanship into it, you can't see somebody supporting us Chelsea today, and we say next match is supporting.
Well, some people follow particular players.
That is players, and you won't see them. Those who are following Messi, you can't see them tomorrow because Ronaldo scored, and you see him say Ronaldo. No, that is that time that I am waiting in our polity. That look, it's not just going on the shelf. Go pick an available platform for you to fet your own interest. That is when I will say yes, we have arrived. So my own anticipation is so high, very high, up there.
Well, the Independent National Electoral Commission, they during the week, they give figures of PVCs that remain uncollected. I was listening to Mr. Festus Okoye yesterday saying that he's been encouraging some of the individuals picking up their PVCs. He's attributing this to the rallying of the electorates by a lot of leaders, including even the political leaders. There are quite a number of CSOs, and many look at that and say, "Oh, well, that might be great, for the election." But then there's still quite a number of people who've not gotten their PVCs. They've given all sorts of excuses. Some have spoken about, INEC's mode of giving out the cards. INEC says, is it the 6th? It was supposed to be yesterday, January 6th, that cards will be taken to ward levels. I don't know whether they've done that. They said between the 6th and the 15th. A lot of people are, looking at that window and hoping that would encourage more people, to pick up their cards. In fact, there are so many people that say the cards should even be put at the wards for a very longer time compared to having to go to local governments that sometimes are far, for quite a number of people.
I think the first thing I will say about that is this. One, the issue of voters' cards not being collected is something that is not new. And from my own observation, there are some factors that might be responsible for that. First, you can't rule out debt. Possibly some of them, they are no more. So we will have those cards still there. Then the other aspect is what I would call logistics from the INEC quarters. The preparation. If you make things cumbersome for people, that may be a little bit difficult for them. For example, my expectation is if I go to INEC this morning to pick my card, under normal situation, I don't think I should spend less than 5 minutes. But where at the end of the day I'll be spending hours, that might be frustrating. And that may discourage people from going there to pick their cards. Those are the factors I think might be responsible for it. But all the same, we still need to encourage people, and we still need to encourage INEC officials for the need to be proactive in terms of doing things well. Because if they didn't put their house in order, one way or the other, it will affect the election generally. And that may equally reduce numbers of electors participating in that election. So these are the things I think I observe as at now. Very responsible for all this.
Well, we talk about INEC's preparedness. How quickly can people get their PVCs? But there are also people that look at it and say, well, there's a patriotic duty, to ensure that you have it, and see being a part of the election as a duty and not something that is an option. Especially, some even say when you look at the peculiarity of our situation, the socioeconomic situation is enough to even ginger you to want to get your card and be a part of the election.
But quite honestly, there will be the challenges. Let me start this way. The challenges before INEC are numerous, even beyond voters' card collection and distribution. They need to cope with many things, and like he mentioned, it's because that word is very important to me. Logistics. Now. I think maybe yesterday too, the committees of the situation room were listed. Many people were put in place. That means that they have a lot to contend with beyond distribution. They won't go to beg anybody to come and pick up their voters' card. They will only continue to say, the window is open. You can always call. And let me chip in here. The campaign to interest people must not stop. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that the enlightenment awareness arm of INEC must step up their game. That is very, very important. So one of those things they will keep encouraging people to come for is voters' card. Encourage them that they need to know their rights. Encourage them that they need to, because like he was trying to mention, he mentioned death. Some people are not. They are not dead, but they have moved. Maybe by retirement or by transfer.
But there was the option to move your card. There was the option to.
No, it may be things of end of the year.
Okay.
It may be things of December now. Every time. These are the problems we are grappling with. We don't treat every day like a new day. You understand? And ditto our system. Our system, that's why some of people will say our system are archaic. Some of our laws are of 1956. Some of our operations are of 72. You understand? I mean 1972, 1956, 1989. But if everything is on a daily basis, just like when the Mrs. Bridget also, when she was here, the
voter education
here. Yes. We know that they have a lot to do. They cannot afford to step down. They must double. Yes, they must double. They must double. So we need to be encouraged, because if they are going to give money for doing that franchise, Nigerians will come. If they are going to give employment for that franchise, Nigerians will. If they are going to distribute houses, I mean INEC. I'm not talking politicians. I'm not talking vote buying. You know what interests us. But all the same, we are still going to be good Nigerians at the poll.
Well, to be fair to INEC, I was somewhere during the week. I was trying to get fuel, and a car drove by and stopped, and there was a speaker with a lot of noise. And the first thing that came to my mind is, if that's not the people selling, all those then that has to be INEC. And then an INEC official came to grip me and I said, "Oh, I knew it was you guys." Okay. So I think they're doing the awareness, and taking it
I'm
around.
glad to hear that.
So I want us to give them that kudos, because the hope is that a number of people will get their PVCs now that the window is there for it to be picked up at the ward levels before it is, taken to the local governments. I think the 15th of January, that window will lapse at the ward level. So maybe a lot of people will seize that opportunity and just pick up their PVCs. Well, the week saw quite a number of issues, campaigns going on across parts of the country. The presidential aspirants, visiting a number of places. Here in Ogun State, campaigns have started, you could say in earnest, for the various candidates. And it was a week of endorsements, so to speak. And it got a number of reactions. Let's very quickly, because by 9:30 we would have a guest join us. The endorsement of the Labour Party presidential candidate, first off by the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, and the reactions started coming from the opposition parties, from others who are not even politicians. Then came the endorsement by Edwin Clark. I don't know. It just appears like the more the endorsement came, it just I don't know whether it's a rattled a few nests, because for some individuals they kept saying, well, it doesn't matter, but they had a lot to say, and you just begin to wonder, what then do you mean when you say it doesn't matter, but you keep talking about it?
First and foremost, I would say Baba Obasanjo has rights. That is his own personal opinion, and nobody can fault that. It's applicable to every individual. But having said that, the truth of the matter is this: for those who are condemning that act, if there is a set of people that he endorsed, they will go to high places to celebrate that. That is human being for you. And saying or endorsing anybody, that's not the end of the story. It's about the electorate. He has tried to do that. I can wake up this morning and say that I'm endorsing Kehinde Sogunle as the governorship candidate of Ogun State under Labour Party. Nobody can fault me for that. It's a personal opinion. So, for those saying it's not relevant, if the statement is not relevant, why are they shouting about it? So it means to a level they still see him as a force to be reckoned with. That's my own personal interpretation of what's happening.
But for some people, Mr. Ashley, the question has been no question about the rights of the individual. For some people, they've also questioned the morality of it, saying, do you even have the moral grounds to begin to recommend? Some even say, oh yeah, even one of the issues we have from the very start. So all of this put together.
You know that it's a cliche that to cut the head of a dog, the first thing you just label the person. And let me tell you, igbe ńlá ni màálù ń ké. Some people, when they sneeze, harmattan must catch a whole society, not only one or two people. OBJ, whether you like it or not, I was somewhere last year, December, when they say he has a big shareholding in Nigerian business. You cannot, it's not a person you can shove aside when he makes it. It's not new that he's a letter writer. It's not new that he will always call for controversy. It's not new that he is bold because he's an old woman. It's not new thing that he will play his military politician as a strategic person with a lot of native intelligence. So how can somebody say it doesn't really matter? But I expect all that. As far as I'm concerned, at that level of criticism, at that level of attack here and there, it's not my own problem. My own problem is the politician started looking for endorsement here and there. It's as little as a politician going to association of hairdresser to ask for endorsement. I'm not saying hairdressers are lesser people. That's not what I'm saying. Everybody will want to have endorsement. And look, somebody said it somewhere, was it yesterday, that why all the politicians, the party people, the elders, why do they go out visiting people or paying for endorsements? If it is important, why can't somebody... My coming to this studio today, I must have been chosen out of a lot. So I can endorse. So I will encourage Wale, print out so that you can come and meet me for your endorsement. Thank you so very much.
Well, I don't know. For the weight is on as to what the effect of some of these endorsements will be, and I continue to say that at the moment there can only be a number of postulations and guesses as to what the effect will be. You never really can tell until the electorate troop out. Hopefully, troop out en masse, on election day to be a part of the process. But when you look at the endorsement of Obasanjo, Edwin Clark, Governor Tom, so to speak. There's the trouble with the governors there and all.
G5.
Yeah, would you then say, well, they might mean something?
No, quite honestly, you know why all these endorsements, I want to put it to perspective now. While this endorsement will matter to us as Nigerians, everybody in their little rights, they have their lovers, they have their enclaves, they have their followers, and they can change the polity, they can change minds. It is not that a vote is a vote. You understand? And most of the time, those people who are craving, no, those people that are giving endorsements, most of them cannot even vouch for their own vote. Most of them don't even go out to, I mean the kings, you understand, palaces. They cannot even control the vote of their own wife. Be it as it may, I will now tell you that because we want to create attention, because we want to change a lot of things, endorsement will matter to us. Why are we not talking? That's why I said I want to put it. Why are we not talking that the last time that one Obi spoke somewhere, he said he will do a particular thing, talking to issues, or the last time they batified people that it is going to be house for all except them reacting. You don't understand? To what OBJ said, it was a quick, apart from the team of the batified, Asiwaju himself reacted to it. That means the endorsement, see what endorsement created with the Pan Yoruba group. See how it splitted the group into two. So this is, but for us, it is peculiar for us. We can't take that to some other climes or where we have developed democracies. No. We can't take it there. But to us, it matters. It is part of the side theatric attention that we create in our own polity. But I am still not good with that. I want issues. I want policies. I want what will change us from this wood. What will change the life of Nigerians and how we can hold them, engage them. You understand? And make them accountable and record all these things they are saying now, so that it doesn't become a fluke and they get that they become lords.
I totally see the point you're making, but then I don't know whether it might be fair or correct to say that endorsement is just peculiar to us. We see, with even the democracies we try to copy. The American elections, we see, candidates go seeking, endorsements from ex-presidents, other people, even the ones you say are not entirely serious. I think rapper Kanye West was, seeking the endorsement of Donald Trump. So I think endorsements are seeking endorsements are everywhere. But for a number of people, it's a question of can it sway the electorate.
That's a different thing on its own. But the fact remains that whether you like it or not, endorsement has a major role to play in anything we are doing. Anything, even aside from politics, that's a major role. It can change certain things in favor of a person. So it depends on the person who is behind the endorsement.
Well, what changes the endorsements will have time will tell. The situation with the People's Democratic Party governors got quite interesting over the week. What we know now is that there's a very slim chance that all 5 governors will then sit down and say, oh, we're supporting one candidate. What we know now is that there might be local peculiarities put into consideration before the decision is made. Just on Thursday, they were at the capital city of Oyo State, that's Ibadan, for the flag-off of the re-election bid of Governor Seyi Makinde. And, as always, Governor Wike of Rivers State saying, support Seyi Makinde, but as for President, Seyi will talk to you. And it appears all the governors will be talking to their respective people as regards who they will be supporting, for the presidential election. Well, we'll take a pause. When we return, we'll be joined, as we said earlier, by the candidate of the Labour Party for the governorship election here in Ogun State, Kehinde Sogunle, who will be talking to us this morning. It's a time where, a lot of people are looking at, in this part of the world, we call it third force. And we say, third option. And, for so many people, they look at the Labour Party, especially with what's happening at national level, and, say maybe they can just be that third option, at the governorship elections as well. Whether the Labour Party is a third viable alternative is what will be getting our attention this morning as we get joined by the governorship candidate. Don't go anywhere, please. It's the Polity on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta.
Fresh 107.9. Invigorating.
Ṣe ń ta sánsán tó ń sẹ̀kẹ̀ mẹ́ndẹ̀. Latest release orin Dr. Ọláyínká Joel Ayéfẹ́lẹ́ ọjà MON. Ó tún ti mi gbogbo àgbáyé títì so far so good làkọ́lé ẹ̀. Ayéfẹ́lẹ́ ṣe é kárakára. Torí ti lu àlùjọ tó já ské. Ó yá láúdà. Ìjó ti yá o, so far so good. Ayéfẹ́lẹ́ ó tún yá. Ẹ ò tí gbọ́ kókó ẹ tún gbà. Ayéfẹ́lẹ́ ló ṣe rẹ̀ àrùnrin ìjọ ti yá ẹ̀sùn bàtà. Ẹ wo latest record yìí ká Ayéfẹ́lẹ́ tó gbé àkọlé ẹ̀ ní so far so good. Audio CD ẹ ti jáde chart buster ní it is irresistible. Big project ní marketers olórúkọ méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ló ń ta tó ń pín. Aloy production international telephone 080-330-47110 àti Rome model entertainment telephone 080-3432-7594. So far so good. Unlimited gbogbo orí gbogbo àlùjọ ní ẹgbàá bẹ́ẹ̀. Go get your copy now. Dáwọn ní kẹjọ ẹ wá ṣe símẹ́símẹ́símẹ́símẹ́sí. Sísá wọn ní kẹ ẹ wájọ ẹ wá ṣe símẹ́símẹ́símẹ́sí.
Well, thank you for staying with us. The Polity on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Today is Saturday, the very first episode of the program for the year 2023. And our first guest this year is the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Ogun State, Kehinde Sogunle, who joins us now this morning. Good morning, sir. Great to have you in our studios.
Good morning, Bakari. It's been great listening to you. And my good friends that are here, Dimeji and Abeokuta. Happy birthday, Abeokuta. Thank you.
I like the fact that you reminded me. I was forgetting for a moment. You are not giving again. Anyway, good morning, gentlemen. Thank you really for joining us this morning. Just before before you joined us, we were talking about what is actually essentially our focus this morning. There's a lot of talks about the third force and whether the Labour Party and your candidacy is what we could call a third option for citizens of Xenia. How viable is it, or do you even look at yourself as maybe the first and second option and not the third force?
When you say third alternative,
could you move your chair, please?
Okay, when you say third alternative, I think that is really it, and it will definitely be the party to beat, because all the issues that have been addressed around the polity, around our political systems, are being addressed by the third force. First is the issue of organic membership. Labour for life. We was talking about Baka for life, Arsenal for life. In the formation of a Labour Party, you have members that are organic. Organic in the sense that they come from the trade unions and the labour unions, who are permanent, so to speak. There are 33 or 43 unions in the NLC, 33 unions in the TUC. We also have the NCF, which is an offshoot of 3 levels of people who are concerned about the growth of this country. Concerned professionals, the Nigerian Intervention Movement, and now the Nigerian Consultative Front. And the issues that we've been talking about around politics, okay, all these things about lack of ideology, issues around issues-based politics, the future of the country, genuine politicians, so to speak, and all of that are the people that are aggregating to say, let us do something together. And particularly that what is even causing a lot of excitement around the Labour Party is the role of the younger generation. Particularly when you look at the backdrop of what happened in 2020, when the NSAS and they all said, look, they all protested, took the country down, so to speak, and they were quelled, but the spirit is not dead. And I realizing that the best way to make change is to actually get engaged in the political process. So you see quite a lot of young people also participating in the Labour Party. So when you look at the combination of people that are coming together, it's a new day. It's a new party. It's the alternative. It's the party to win. Labour Party is it, and all the things that you are looking at around how politics should be is what you see in Labour Party today. And you see that you can't see a lot of optics and theatrics around Labour Party. It's what you see is a lot of issues. Obi, the state. How many billboards of Obi have you seen? How many posters of Obi, genuinely from Obi himself, have you seen? But Obi is in the heart of everybody. And people like us are also in the heart of everybody. When people like us get into politics, but those who know our pedigree know that this is a serious candidate. And this is a genuine person. I've been in government. I have a profile that is very impeccable. And people know that these guys, when they're talking about development, particularly for this state, I've been part of this process for the past 21 years. And in my engagements all through, it has been about progress, development, quite a lot of things that the polity must do. So we are not the politicians of that description that we don't talk about. We are professionals in politics who just believe that we can't stand and be doing analysis. We need to get into the fray. Also in the Labour Party today, you see quite a lot of faith-based organizations who have said, we've prayed enough. Mostly Christians who said, we've prayed enough. God has answered our prayer. We have the numbers and we have to make the change right time. They also say something, next to God is government. So we have appealed to God. God has answered our prayer. So we have built our mass. So you can then begin to see the combination of people that are organically members of Labour Party, particularly, and what we just need to do is to win and perform. You then see the kind of that ownership that people say, I'm a Labour for life.
Well, just before have the gentleman have their go, I just want to ask, because you talk about organic membership. I know that one of the things people have said about the Labour Party, the Obi movement, for example, is it doesn't have the structures, blah blah blah. Would you confidently say that because it is the Labour Party and because there are 33 unions, as you say in the NLC, the TUC, they automatically become lovers of the Labour Party? Because we've seen in previous elections where there were Labour Party candidates. In fact, even the recent Osun Ekiti elections, there were Labour Party candidates, but then there were workers gathering to endorse the current governor or say, this is our man.
Let me tell you the history. A lot of us may not know. Before Labour Party was formed, the Labour movement themselves had a whole process of saying, how do we engage the polity going forward? Are we going to be about engagement, being bribed by the government or supporting any government of the day? We ourselves are a critical mass. They had a retreat. They have political commissions. NSC has a political commission. TUC has a political commission. All the unions have political commissions. And they had a conference, not even one conference, about a series of conferences. I could have brought the proceedings of the communique of the conference to you, where they decided consciously, this is not about we're just going for any party, where they decided that they must play active politics this time around. So that's the only way they can push for their interest. They also had what they call a charter of demands, that any party, and they are saying that the Labour Party is the only one, any party, they've given it to me, any party that wants to run must make sure that it implements this charter of demands.
Okay.
So it's not about now just everybody campaigning to them. This is a deliberate action on their part to say each of the 33 and 43 affiliate unions also have political commissions. So all discussing how do we play with politicians. They started with engagement. Okay, let us begin to do engagement, assessing them, what programs do they have. You can see them regularly. NSC, for example, in the past 1 year, have done quite a lot of seminars around the politics. June 12 they did, October 1 they did, and all of that. All sensitizing people about the need to, all the issues around politics. But their political commissions are talking about how do we play politics. And when you say that structure alone permits everywhere, they have local government councils, they have ward councils, they have national councils. I know for a fact some churches, very big churches, who have a directorate of politics and governance, because they realize that all the prayer that we're making, all the issues around poverty that we're seeing, they go to the pastors at the end of the day. So they're realizing that instead of saying government, and they have shown, particularly the religious organizations, they have shown that they can run better systems in this same environment. Look at what Redeem is doing. Look at what Winners is doing. Go to their domain. You see that they're creating an island of sanity out of the confusion that they have. So if they can do that in their churches, why can't they do it in the polity? Particularly when they have the branches The particular church in this state has more than 6,000 churches. So you say that is no structure? And you notice the spiritual headquarters of Ogun State, of Nigeria. All the major churches are here. The Muslim movement also has some kind of structures. So when they are saying, look, we need to get direct intervention, because we realize that we can't continue to pray and say, God give us leaders, God give us leaders. When we are a breeding ground of leaders, before you become a pastor, because you become a deacon, there's a process we go through. Before you become an imam or an ustaz, there's a process of knowledge and wisdom that you go through. So why do we need to bifurcate it and say this is for religion, this is for governance? Why can't we then come together and make sure there is this inter-religion, this peace movement, and I was a part of them, where they are saying, look, what are we all talking about? We are talking about peace and cooperation with fellow men for progress. So and they are saying, look, instead of saying a club of people who just think that they can exploit the resources of the country for their own interests and advantages, we'll just be creating the issues that we have today. Why can't we join a credible platform that we can all work with, so that we can deliver Nigeria from the shackles of poverty, unemployment, insecurity that we have today? So that is the organic amendment. That is the structure. A lot of people are not seeing it. We don't. I go to some places and they don't tell you don't need to come and campaign to us. We already have our structure to deliver to you.
Now, I will start from this angle.
Yeah.
I know you before now.
Yes.
To be honest. So that means is that endorsement? Dimeji?
It is.
No, knowing me first of all, then knowing that I'm contesting.
Okay.
Knowing I'm contesting and saying,
don't carry me to where I no want go.
No, you know me.
He was even talking about integrity, and I said that is endorsement.
Now, where I'm going is this. No, where I want to start is, comrade is part of your name now.
Yes.
We know the meaning of we.
Yes.
Before now, we know the. When will comrade come out of your name? 1, 2. We know labor. I am a labor activist. Long before now. I want to know how much you have done within labor before this aspiration, and what you are going to do within labor society during this your political campaign, and what you may do if by his grace you get to Kemoso. I want to know that. That means what you will be able to do. Lastly, I want you to take this together. Labor movement, as you have structurally told us about the opportunities and potentials, tell me those concluded political struggles with government in governance about even their own demand, if their powers or their ability for politicking is so rife as you have painted.
I've given a barrage of questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
I only want to take my time. I don't know whether I will come back.
I don't know where I can start from. Let me just tell you, I decided to adopt the name comrade when they define labor, and I look at what I've been doing before, and I can see alignments between what labor does and what I do, what I've been doing all through my life, or most of my life, most of my adult life, so to speak. Comradeship is about activism. It's about fighting for rights. It's about welfare for the people. It's about fighting for workers' rights. And apart from being an accountant, I also am a human capital development person. I train people, I develop people significantly. Even in this state, people will know I do a lot of things on entrepreneurship, employability, and all of that. And what I do is to unleash the potential of young people, give them the resources by which, give them the knowledge by which they can be better in the environment. I have clear examples in this state. I have clear examples in Nigeria, even all over the world today. So when we started defining, I started relating. We are professionals. They are labor movement. And we then said, what are we talking about? What is labor? And I said, labor is not just labor union. There's also the working class people. In the definition of working class people, we can even include entrepreneur. Those who are working, those who are sweating to collect the money, they may not necessarily be in paid employment. So I now say, okay, if the work I have done, if you check my profile and human capital development, it fits very well into a comradic activity. Because whatever it will take in the government that I served in, I pushed for capacity development for staff, for Ogun State people. I was the one that pushed the idea and said, look, Ogun State government at that time should be devoting so amount of money for training of staff. Because when I got in as Director of General Management and Budget, I saw the gap between administrative knowledge and management knowledge. And I realized that what do we need to do? We need to begin to train people. We were offering scholarships for people abroad. And today, check it in all of the civil service of Ogun State. My people, the people that work with me or we have contact with me, there are so many sessions we were used to do them, have enhanced themselves in terms of skills and knowledge and experience by the interaction that we had both in management and budget and finance at that time. So that is why at the end of the day, when I assessed, I said, look, to align, sometimes when we are in Rome, we do like Romans do. So I just said, look, neighbor, comrade, can be a good appellation to identify ourselves. So that we know it's not. So they will not say you are a comrade. I'm a comrade. So that is about that. When you look at labor union itself and government, you see, and also you also recognize that when I was in government, particularly budget and finance, there were so many issues that affect workers that we had to deal with. Apart from capacity building, the issue of arrears, pension arrears, gratuity issues, deductions. We had to, because we said then that we're government of the people, and as much as possible, when we had resources, we made sure that we addressed those things that will to reduce workers' agitation, so to speak. There was no negotiation meeting that was held between us and labor that I did not attend. At the point, because I realized that, even particularly for some of the universities in Ogun State, all the institutions in Ogun State, at the time when I realized that they were not getting resources enough to run those institutions. I had to be drafted into the governing council of all the universities in Ogun State, so much so to bridge the gap between the university and government. And then you recognize that, look, so you recognize that reduced a lot of tension between the government and the universities. At the point, even some of the polytechnics and all of those things we set up, the TASUED, the setting up of TASUED was the initial setup of TASUED was started in my office. Those 4 ICT polytechnics, the whole idea around it was started in my office. So you begin to look, and then the whole issues around how do we manage them, to manage the people, structure, because I come from apart from accounting, I come from a very rich management consulting background, and we deal with issues along those lines. So even when Gateway Hotel was going to be, either privatized or marginalized, there were issues of transition between the old staff and new staff. I was part of that negotiation. And at the end of the day, because I've been dealing with people issues like that, we were able to come out with a formula that will make those who are living or those who are transiting to be comfortable. So you can see this is collective bargaining, this is welfare, this is capacity development. These are all the issues and you need somebody. Look, at that time, our 2 people, they used to come to me and say, Oshoba, and then one Baba like that, our special advisors in the labor union. They say, Mr. Sogunle, when I come to explain this to you about workers, you seem to align. You are not just government. You are also government person you have a labor and human capital perspective. So you can see what we can do. So we reduced as much as possible those kind of conflicts that labor and so it became very interesting that when we are now working together, and one of those things I promised is that we may likely, when we have a government, have a Ministry of Labor Affairs, so that there will be so much reduction in those issues of conflict. So they are going to be managing their issues. So those are the kind of things that, because at the end of the day, who creates the wealth? Who runs government? I didn't know people, I didn't know workers. How do we create a conducive environment for, even apart from the workers themselves, those who are outside, entrepreneurs? Look, I've done a lot of work on access to finance for entrepreneurs in this state. Even for this government, I propose to them about what we need to do about SMEs, what we need to do about young people who are looking for work, how to really help or skill them. Because look, at the end of the day, a nation is about these people. And if those people are not competent enough, if those people are not happy working, then what's the essence of being in the country? So you see, even from the things we are planning to do, I will have a strong focus on human capital development. I know I mentioned it to you before. This thing I call SHIELD, our agenda that is called SHIELD, and each of it is human capital development. And then if I have the time, I can talk about it very well. So you can see a strong people orientation in what we are trying to do, so that we can signal to people that, look, we are not just about endorsement. Look, I've not really gone to anybody that is really, those kind of people you talk about, to say, oh, please endorse me. We are focused purely on issues of development.
Talking to the labor executive is endorsement too. That is deeper.
It's not endorsement. They are part of us. It's not we started together. You get what I'm saying? We started and we are talking. That one is not endorsement. We We are
Okay,
no,
can we
are
use
fusing.
capturing? Can we use capturing for that?
That's not capturing. We are fusing.
He says it's fusion. but go ahead, Mr. Duji.
Now, I'm still interested in that word endorsement. And now, the former president, Baba Sojo, just endorsed your presidential candidate.
Yes.
What is your view about that? That is one. Then two, do you see yourself as beneficiary of that endorsement when it comes to the state level?
Well, I'm also aware. Well, okay. Well, I was going to say, I just stumble on things. I'm also aware that there might have been even meetings, even here in Ogun State, of the Labour Party and some individuals with the former president.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
Politicking.
It's not politics. So sometimes, you see, our own politics is not about politicking in that negative sense. It's about development. It's about the role of leaders in society. For him to come out openly like that, he is a champion of a new Nigeria. People like them have seen what has been wrong with this country, the perspectives that have been wrong with this country, how this country has been ruled over the years, and what needs to happen before they go. So there is something curious that all of us will be mentioning. John Clark, Babadi Banjo, Baba Sonjo, all now saying we need to change. Is that now everybody has reflected. The paradigm and the viewpoint that we have used to running this country needs to change. And that is why they are standing forward and saying, we will lead it. And they say, you don't know the reaction, why they are also reacting that way. That NSAS war, that NSAS showed to them, and this Japa syndrome showed to them that if they don't do anything serious about the polity of Nigeria, the younger people will make this country ungovernable. Some of them will go out of the country, they can create a crisis for the world itself. Nigerians are very smart. And then here, look at the way they executed that NSAS. If all of us see it, they executed it without any structure. And they held the country down for like 2 weeks. It then means that, what's happened in Syria, what happened in Sudan, what happened in Libya. These were all those Arab rising. Because it was not controlled. And then they got into government, they made the government ungovernable. They got the government at the end of the day. What did they do with it? So these guys are saying, we need to guide this enthusiasm, this drive of these young people. If you don't guide it, and guide it in the right direction, we just have an ungovernable entity. An ungovernable Nigeria is a threat to Africa. It's a big threat. So we need to begin to see it in that big picture. Very big threat. Which country can take us? And it's a threat to the world. So they have seen it from the point of responsibility that, look, we need to guide. And I mean to guide these people, particularly young people. And you are talking about voters. One interesting thing about the current voter is that 71% of the people that are going to vote are between the ages of 18 and 40. Go to the PVC, see the people you are seeing. People like you are not going to be there. When I went to collect my PVC, I stood there for like 1 hour, and I was seeing the people that are coming to collect. 17, 18, 19, 20 year old people.
What does that
When
suggest?
you get there, they say, Baba, hello down low.
You are a Baba already.
Assist like you. so you can then see that we need to find a way of migrating this younger generation to nation building. And Baba wrote it in some of the letters that he became president. He retired as president at 42. 42-year-old people today, what are they doing?
Still looking for a job.
Still looking for a job. So these people are around, and if you don't channel them now, and that is channel them now to something productive for the country, or be involved in the running of the country, we are in for a danger. The future. So that's what those guys have seen. What kind of country are they going to live for all of us? That's why some of us are saying, look, I shouldn't be contesting self. But I realized that I can connect with those people than even the Babas. Look, the person that came with me is the president of the coalition of support groups for Peter Obi. He has 33 support groups in the state, all very vibrant. If you don't organize them, they will be fighting themselves. Young people, when they do, they start be fighting over because they can't see perspective. So that is why some responsible people, the elderly people, are seeing that responsibility for the country. Some of us are seeing that. That's why we're throwing our hands in the ring, and that's why they are endorsing all of this. And Obi represents a face that the young people can do what? Can align with. So because and you see, it was consciously decided. The mistake we made in 2019, we have been part of this movement for some time. I was the first chairman of Nigerian Intervention Movement, the third force in 2019. What happened? We didn't choose a leader on time. That was the day of Obi Ezekwesili
Mogalu,
Mogalu,
Fela
Dre
Kuti,
Toye
and
and the
all of
likes.
them.
Mm.
We didn't decide who can lead at the time. We didn't even choose a party on time. But when we migrated to NCF, we now said, look, those mistakes we made in 2019, we couldn't make it now. What did we decide? We decided the party quickly, and we decided a candidate. So there was no issue around candidature. And then everybody can easily follow the line. So that is...
Sorry, you haven't answered that question.
I was going to say, he asked a
Are
question
you
about...
going to benefit from
benefit of
okay,
Ogun
obviously, there's something we call bandwagon effect.
Yeah.
This is Ogun State, where you have major endorsements to my presidential candidate from the major players, Adibanjo, Papa Adibanjo. I'm their boy. They say, Omoluabi Mele. He said, they people tacitly giving me endorsement. So we won't say it publicly, but they have said, look, this is a good... They've checked, like we said, this is the same question. But when he had my name, he said, I know you. You served with Daniel as Commissioner for Finance. Good boy. Abana said, I know Kehinde now. So is that not endorsement? It may not be publicly. So, I know those people don't suffer fools.
Yeah.
They don't suffer fools. When we went to Babadi Manjo, he said, look, we know you. Those who came with me said, what do you do? What do you do? He said, if you don't have a meaningful means of livelihood, you don't do politics. This is how politics.
Second address?
Yes, you don't have a second address. He was asking them, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? So those are the kind of things that they have said that they couldn't get in the first two orders. Whatever. And they desire that order should happen now. We talked about how Afenifere was formed, and how they were contributing money, how they were accountable, how they had work. And he said, we are trying to recreate. That's why the whole Afenifere machinery is put behind us. Particularly when they see that there's a credible person that's also there. So those are the kind of, that's why it's not business as usual. It's not in that type of jamboree politics. It's going to be interest politics, responsible politics. The elderly generation, the interest groups, and the youth all coming together towards creating the change that we want, which is a new Nigeria.
Now, Comrade Sogunle, let me ask, because some of these things that you talk about, they sound very, calculated, strategic, and it appears a lot of research has gone into it.
Yeah.
But for some people, they look at Nigerian politics. You talk about bandwagon, and they look at Nigerian politics and sometimes feel, all the strategies sometimes is not what works, because when you look at our people, it's mostly about money. It's mostly about the jamboree that you say is not, in your movement. And how do you see that changing with this election?
Perception. That is what
Isn't it the
I'm
reality?
also a strategy person, so I know there's a strategy planning that works. I'm a core strategy person. I've been the leader of the strategy team for GNI for 2 sessions. I was one of the first few people. In fact, I was the one that made the first presentation in 2001 to any group of people that OGD was going to contest. I actually did the strategy for you. This whole idea of OGD, Awakening the Sleeping Giant, all of that we did.
You are behind it.
Yes, I was deeply behind it. But just because we were playing around, I was deeply behind it. So I understand the strategy that works. You need to contextualize your strategy. Are the people the same? The people then and the people now. At the time, it was the politics of talks, of violence. Today, it's not going to be. Today, it's about ideas. It's about people. Even vote buying. This change of naira. What do you think it is about? This change of currency is to reduce the amount of money that you can move around from now to the elections.
You are in line with that.
Seriously, how much money can you carry around now? So how do people and if you don't know what it is, there is money laundering, there is tracing. If you begin to disburse money to people anyhow, they want to ask you, what did this guy do for you that you are paying him 20 million?
Is it because your party don't spend CC?
It's not because we don't spend CC. We don't want to.
But you use pound. You use pound.
So don't joke about it. It is to de-emphasize. You still spend money in elections, but you de-emphasize the money politics, vote buying, and all of you have said it. You said it that the 1,000 naira you are going to get today can give you 1,000 years of suffering.
Yeah.
So that our emphasis should not be on what people are spending, but what values are they getting? What change are they creating for the country? The question is that the condition of the country. Do you like it now?
No, I've been in activism before now.
Be 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. Will it cure the condition of this country today? So those are the narratives that we are pushing forward, and that's why we are doing all the things we are doing. So if it's endorsement, I enjoy it.
Well, let's talk a moment about the Labour Party itself. We talk about Labour Party and we ask, is it a third viable option, especially if we bring it out to the situation in Ogun State?
Yeah.
Some of the things that we've seen, in the APC, the PDP, we talk about the crisis in some of these parties. The Labour Party hasn't been alien to crisis as well, especially at this time. We've heard, about the sack of the state executives here, sorry. We've heard about the removal of the national secretary, public secretary. We began to hear rumors of, there were allegations in the party that, some big wigs in the party were doing things that were, anti-party, and there were breakaways. Some came out to say we're passing the vote of no confidence on the national chairman, blah, blah, blah. So it's not as if some of this crisis, haven't been there in the Labour Party as well. So how then do you convince people that the Labour Party is different?
First of all, that crisis, for us in organizational development, we expect it. Where you put a new set of people together, people with different orientations, you expect a clash of methods and interests. In organizational psychology, we call it forming, storming, norming, and performing. We are in the storming stage. You have a Labour Party that's been used as a vehicle for just political trading. Now coming to meet a set of people who are thinking about labor movements, who are talking about human capital development, who are talking about progress for country. That would definitely be what we call a clash of cultures. And have you had been in that controversy? Has my name been mentioned in that controversy? No. So, and we know that can happen, and we're managing it as nicely as we can. It will fade out as much as possible. To tell you that we're also recognizing that, we've created something we call complex redundancy. Complex redundancy is to say, look, if you are firing a plane, you have an engine that's running. That if the one fails or one is not performing, you quickly switch to the other one. In the Labour Party today, or in the movement that is driving this change, we have a new formation called the Big Tent. Okay. The Big Tent, maybe you have heard about it.
That's the Party-Tomi movement?
Movement, yeah. We have a Big Tent in Ogun State now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a coordinator, one respected Madam Uriola. And that movement, for those who don't want to even join the party, or those who are stakeholders, church people, Labour people, or those who don't feel that, look, I'm not ready for the issues in the party now, but I want to support a change in Nigeria. We have created that Big Tent for them.
I think some
and that Big Tent has its own structures too. Has a coordinator, assistant coordinator, ESCO, local government coordinators, ward coordinators.
I think it's the noise that is not available that makes it seem like, these things are not existent from what you say. Because
we are focusing more on the work.
Okay.
We are not focusing on the noise. The old politicians want to focus on the noise. They quickly jump to one station or the other. I'm always very reticent to come and before you call me to say, look, I have work to do. If you know the amount of work and all analysis I've done on the voters in Ogun State and where the votes are and how to get those votes, you realize that it is not in the noise. It is in the Ariwo, they say it's not the music. It's the symphony. So I now to build the symphony, it's create serious work. Not all this jump here today and create a lot of excitement in the press. So over time, these things will be addressed, and we are carefully looking at it, and we know how these things will be sorted out.
We are still on labor. You let me put it this way, that you jump into a troubled water, and the water was really troubled. How you got delayed to be identified, or I don't know whether approved by INEC, took some what do I call it? I say
momentum.
Yeah, no, not momentum, but let me see. Continue to use trouble.
It was
turbulent.
It
was not turbulent.
It's turbulent. One, you will address it. That is number one. Number two is, with you and the so-called strategic thinking, will it employ that useful exuberance will still not be negligent on the part of the youth for them to engage, to have PVC, and come out and vote? How do you see this liability?
So there are two issues. We are talking about the jumping into the troubled water and the youthful exuberance. So let's talk about troubled water.
Okay.
Troubled water was not supposed to be trouble. It was just a delay in the process, which can actually be easily be handled. We've done our primaries, We've got INEC was there. I was duly elected, and everything happened. So I'm a candidate. Abi, it's for now somebody to go and perform an administrative duty of uploading the name
To the INEC.
and he didn't do it on time.
Was it deliberate?
It could be deliberate, it could be mistake, but I leave that to them to manage. I know that I'm a candidate, and if I'm not contesting, there won't be election in the state. And if there is election, they will do it again until they get my name on the list.
Okay, you go and win. You go and win at the court. I'm only asking. I don't know.
The primary condition for anybody to be a candidate is to have a valid primary. Did I not have a valid primary? People voted for me. I put myself up. It's a fundamental human right. And I prove to them that I have not, my rights have been infringed upon. Anything that is built on that is built on water. So that's on that. That's for me. So that water is not trouble. It's not supposed to be trouble. Some people pissed in that water. So
and who sanitizes it?
We are going to sanitize it technically. It is that period of sanitization that you start seeing suspension, dissolution, and not dissolution. But it's going to be
but those individuals are pissed in the water. Are you sure they won't continue to?
That is at the party level. It will be dealt with. The guys that are managing these things at that level, that are the party and the new people. There's no more set of professionals. I've related with them that are managing those crises at the top level. Are very, very adept. They know what they're doing. So you get. So I always trust their judgment. So I just left it. That's why I was not agitated. Can you see me talking or fighting or saying no, this is what is happening? Because I trust the judgment of the architects of this process. So that is one. On the youth are the most responsible now, are the most active around PVC collection. You will see the formation. If I can show you on my WhatsApp, they are organizing themselves into groups to go and be collecting PVCs. Very responsible. These guys go every day with on flag rally. After doing their After doing their 1 million man march, they've not related. They have a village inflation. They have this PVC collection gangs. They are creating something we call polling unit support hosts. We call it push, where they are creating structures around polling units. All of the young people are seeing this as an opportunity to change Nigeria. Not all of them can japa now. So if you see the sense of responsibility that these guys are having, without even anybody giving them money, they are contributing it. So they will. So that that is not about exuberance. It's about more positive now. Particularly for this process, they are very serious about it. In fact, they tell me, they call me every day, say, what is happening? We need to get this done quickly. I say, okay, go and do it. They are the one even leading from the back. And any of the formations that we have, they say, anywhere, they say, where are the youth representatives? Because they know what they did before. They did it outside of the leaders. And they are ready now to use the ballot box. They call it ballot revolution. They're ready to use the ballot box to their own advantage. And we are very conscious. I'm going to be conscious about it. If I win this government, when I win this government, I'm going to really make sure that we have a set of young people as officers. Because they are shown responsibility. Very highly responsible people. Competent, capable, determined. So you know they say our youth are not responsible. I have seen that given the opportunity, the youth of this country have a lot of things to do. But we are not giving that opportunity. So some of us are ready to give them that opportunity.
Now,
all right, just before we take this break, you were going to.
Now, let me say this. I've known you for over 20 years as a complete gentleman. And this is also, I know. And this can be attested to by.
Can you be a comrade and a gentleman together?
It's possible. So we have somebody who calls himself comrade gentleman. If you recall very
well. Very well. Very well. No, I think they are party members.
Yeah, we are party members.
Yeah. So where I'm going is this: you are a complete gentleman, no doubt about that. And many people know about this. But when you look at the Nigerian system in terms of politics, people believe that you don't have that Aluta blood in you. What do I mean? When you talk about Nigerian politics, it has to do with Aluta. And you're a complete gentleman. Do you think you can fit in rather?
They say when it's going gets tough. In that my gentlemanness is a lot of a tough man.
In it?
Yes. You may think that man looks gentle. Until when you encounter him, I won't fight you directly, but I will play you in such a way that you know that you are foolish. Whether you are foolish, if you are trying to be foolish, or you are smart if you are smart, and you walk along. I was in government for 8 years. Did I offend anybody? But the role I played, that was a very controversial role. during all the crises that we had, the National Assembly crisis, the debt issue crisis, even finance that is very, very determined. Whoever came out to say Mr. Sogunle did something for us, that we don't like him. I was even one of the people that actually started to resolve the National Assembly issue between our government and Abeokuta. Ask Abeokuta, ask Khadija today. They say Mr. Sogunle, very thorough, very methodical. I separate issues unemotionally. And then say, this is what we need to do. When most of Nigerian, most of our state people, leaders cannot solve the problem. I say, those people are bad people. I walk up to Abeokuta and say, Abeokuta, we have to build this state together. What is your issue? So that is toughness. Because I learned it. It's not about
being violent.
Being violent. It's about resilience. It's about determination. So that's why people will say, this guy, I won't give up. Look, I understand purpose. What are we trying to do here? And what is driving what my participation in this state, particularly at this level? And you can see the other things that at this level is that we are underperforming as a state. I know the potential that this state must have. And succeeding governments have not been addressing that. They have been doing personal aggrandizement and theatrics and optics. Because I see, they say he who knows, but he gets bothered. I was part of the regional plan of this state, the regional master plan. We did 2020, 2024, 2004 to 2025, 2025. They don't do it. And I saw an agenda for growth that is not being applied. We have created 6 regional geo-economy zones that will drive the economy. And we have been working on each of them. But I even try to sell it to Muslim governments, sell it to this people and say, look, go back to this is the blueprint. Any succeeding government, the government is a continuum. Don't jump what another government has done, particularly is it for progress of the people. It's not about you did one breach, I will not do it again. No, there are some fundamentals. I'm going to write a book called Beyond Bricks and Mortars. That governance is not about what we build. It's about the institutions that you create that sustains development. And so when I look left and right, and I said, these people are not going to do this thing. We're already in our twilight. We are going now. So what will I tell my children? That I spent the greater part of my life in Ogun State. So that's the vision, that's the PMI, that's the compassion that is already there. So those are the kind of things that is moving. And the other thing about culture, see, I also understand culture. Culture is a human construction that can be deconstructed and reconstructed. So when you say there's a political culture, it is because you have not deconstructed that culture. You can also reconstruct it. It is not cast. You just need to change the elements of the player. You change the processes that they will follow. And then what do you have? The culture changes. The way the church was before, the different way of the church is today. The Anglican church, the Catholic church, the Methodist church. When the Redeemer of this world and all of them came, it's the same worship, but different methodologies. What did they do? They changed the culture. So just like you can say political culture is of activism, is about toughness and all of that. We are moving to a political culture that will be issue-based. For example, we started there. You don't know. I started Polar. Political Academy.
Yes.
You came now. You both of you came. We have started an academy of policy and governance to train those young people. Because all of them are not interested. They are not. Because look, you cannot get to government without some adequate knowledge. I have seen it. People get appointed and they don't know what to do. Just because they are politicians. And the business of government is so serious. It requires capacity, it requires competence, it requires experience. The civil service will tell you whatever you want to do. So if you want to get progress and development, what do you need to do? You need to make sure that you train people who can do what? Who understand the context of government. Maybe you attended that some of our poll at that time. Yeah. We have started APG now. And so anybody, we are starting this almost next week. Young people, as they are campaigning, we are telling them, what are you going to be telling people? It's not just vote Peter Obi. What is the definition of the new Nigeria that you are expecting? Is it Peter that will change it? What are you going to contribute in creating that new Nigeria?
How do you intend to break all this down to the grassroots level? Using dialect, using communication.
All that will happen. First of all, you need to get, the message of the Bible is very simple. For God so loved the world.
Don't you think it would be better for vicarage these days?
Wait now. This is that's political vicarage. So once you have the message, to the channel to break it down to the people, grassroots is very simple. It's very simple. But the first thing is that you must have concepts, you must have the ideology, you must have the narrative, you must have the bites. Once you have that bites, and it's already coalesced, and you are talking to him and he's saying, look, Nigeria that we are looking for must have institutions, the economy must be good, this is how we are going to relate with foreign people, this is how we are going to do this, because we don't have that. The narrative we have about Nigeria is that nothing works. All commerce, anything, that is low. That is the mindset about Nigeria. We have to change it to the point that Nigerians are capable. I told them in sports, for example, why is it that Ijebu people are the only ones that are winning Nobel Laureates? Dupe Oshikoya, Tobi Amusho, you can mention three from that axis. That means there is something there. Yes.
Are you saying Kokore could be influential?
I don't know. But so these are values, these are things that we must begin to see. Why is it that Abeokuta people are probably the best musicians we have seen in Africa?
Many first year.
Yes. What is it in the, and look, the older generation is going, the new people are coming, and they are carrying. So how can we translate this into value for the state and the world? So these are the things that, so that we don't feel that is that the Japa. So when somebody says it's a Japa now, we say congratulations, Otibo.
Well, we're due a break. We've been speaking with the governorship candidate of the Labour Party here in Ogun State, Kehinde Sogunle, on the Polity. We'll take a very quick pause. When we return, we'll continue our conversation. We'll definitely mention some of your contributions. Quite a number of you have sent in messages via Facebook. I see one or two on WhatsApp as well that we need to mention very quickly on the program. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a moment.
Kùtùkùtù 2023 Ọlọ́run Sáàmù Olúwa ló fẹ́ fàánú yanjú ọ̀rọ̀.
Gbogbo Abẹ́òkúta o. Wòlíì Ọlọ́run aláàyè. Prọfẹ̀sà Olúwa bàbá Adámímọ́gò ń bọ̀ wá o. Láti péré kùtùkùtù ní 2023. Òwúrọ̀ àánú with anointing service. Ọjọ́ Sunday January 15. Nípa àtìríjọ́ Ọlọ́run aláàyè ń bọ̀ wá táṣẹ́. Débi tí Ọlọ́run ọ̀run ti máa ṣíjú àánú wọlé. Tí bàbá ó sì máa dá òróró ìgbẹ́dídẹ́lẹ́ gbogbo èèyàn lórí o. Ó yẹ kílẹ̀kùn àánú ṣe fún wọn náà nírìn àjò ọdún yìí. Darapọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yà àti èdè. Lọ́jọ́ Sunday 15th January 2023. Látàgọ́ mẹ́fà ìdájí 6 a.m. Ní Prọfẹ̀sà Olúwa bàbá Adámímọ́gò àti máa sọ̀rọ̀ àṣẹ. Àwọn olórin ẹ̀mí Sarah Praise. Olúwa ló ní bí sí. Adámímọ́gò Mass Choir. CAC Adámímọ́gò tó wà lẹ́yìn conference hotel. Láàrin méjì fẹ́ǹsì Lion Club. Àti Civil Defence Training School. Lójú ọ̀nà Secretariat. Golf Club Road. Òkè Mọ̀sán Abẹ́òkúta ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Òwúrọ̀ àná pẹ̀lú ẹsẹ̀ ìfàmì òróró yàn. Wà á darí sábẹ́ òróró títayọ pẹ̀lú àánú.
Download the Fresh FM app on your Android phone, tablet to listen to Fresh FM anywhere in the world. To download, go to Google Play Store and App Store. Search for Fresh FM Nigeria, select the icon, tap, and install for free. Follow the on-screen instructions, complete the installation, and get our content anywhere under the sun in real time. The Fresh FM radio app is all in one. You can listen live, watch us live, see our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram posts, and news updates. The Fresh FM Nigeria mobile app can be downloaded on Android and iOS. As you use the Fresh FM app, review and rate our app. We're available 24/7 for more updates. Thank you for choosing Fresh as the best with Oakrest.
Many thanks for staying with us. The Polity on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. The very first time this year, 2023. Thank you for joining us. In case you're just joining us, you missed out on a lot already, but better late than never. We've got the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Comrade Kehinde Sogunle. He's our guest this morning. Wale Bakar is my name. Of course, standing in for Samson Akindele, and of course, the usual suspects, Dimeji Kade Adedeji and Abiodun Lashile on the program this morning with me. And we've had a lot to say with the governorship candidate of the Labour Party. You know, we've said a lot of things about, you know, changing the narrative and the political perception or the perception of what the polity should look like, you know, in this part of the world. Comrade Sogunle, let's talk about, because I don't think that workers should have anything to worry about if it ever comes to fruition that there's a Labour Party candidate that becomes the governor. And you know, it's a very interesting time that we're in with workers' welfare, contributory pension, leave bonuses, cooperative deductions. The senior citizens talking about how much gratuity arrears we have. I know that the current government might argue, some of these things inherited. The previous government could also say, I don't know. I know that sometimes a little part of your administration is mentioned when they talk about gratuity arrears and all of that. How do you intend to solve all of this if you get into power? Because as it stands, it does look like if you get into power come May 2023, it will be a lot of arrears that you will be incurring as regards gratuity and having to deal with the other issues, cooperative deductions, leave bonus allowance, and all of that.
That's very, 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 very necessary. Very, very, very true. 64 billion that they're saying that they are owed. I think about 232 billion is the debt of the state. We are quite conscious of that. And you know that I'm a finance person. So all of this is because we are asking, how can the state make money to be able to address all of this? We need to begin to shift our paradigm around how funds are generated. Because it's only when you get adequate funds, that is when you can address those things very well. And we have been, and that has been one challenge, because we know that whether they are inside or not, if you are not meeting the needs of the workers, particularly those ones you have mentioned, pension, gratuities, deductions, NPF, and all of those things, you will definitely be at loggerheads with them. So for us, we are already working a financial architecture that will allow for us to have abundant funds. I will not talk about the details now, to address those ones dealt with. Because once you have what I call harmony with workers, then government can go on in the other areas. And so that architecture, it takes an understanding of people like us who have been inside. We know what had happened in the past. Why these people are always having ideas is that all these liabilities, apart from deductions, the deductions is accountability and irresponsibility. There's no reason why you should deduct and should not remit. The issue of pension and gratuity, what has happened is because they are not funded. There's something called funded liabilities. You cannot fund a pension from current earnings. You have to fund it from a fund that you are accrediting over a period of time. But what most governments have done is that they have not been doing that. So what we need to do is to aggregate some funding quickly to be able to address that. And how we are going to do it, I have already thought about it. There are two levels to it. There's a digital one, there's an infrastructure one.
Sorry.
How we are going to do it is to, because also we have a financial cloud, a cloud and credibility that can access funds both locally and internationally. Straight away, what we are going to do is simple. If we are going to do a major project that is going to be funded, we are going to include in that project a risk, what I call a worker risk, that project will include, so that we can then pull the money for that risk out and use to settle. Because if you are running a project and the workers are on strike, can you run the project? So, and most investors, particularly when they see the potential of the state, we say, okay, we like the potential that we are seeing, but we must be able to do it in an environment that is conducive. So they can crystallize that risk and say they will spread it over a period of time on that project. It is those who they did rail in Lagos, they did rail in Kenya. It's all the figures that they were trying to do.
Yeah.
If you want to do rail in Ogun State, for example, and you are getting funding, and you tell them, look, to do this rail, yeah, I'm owing 64 billion. Can you put this on top of it so that we can use to pay? So that cost of the rail, the 64 billion, gets spread over the cost of the rail. The rail is a long-term asset. It will still make its own money for ourselves. So those are one. It's so simple. You see, and the only thing, there's funding for development in the world. They only give it to people who are accountable, credible. And I can say with all sense of responsibility and humility that in this country today, having been in government for 8 years as Commissioner for Finance, and we lived on SCAP, if they see people like us at the head of that government, what would they say? They will say we can trust this guy. And then they can say we can risk something with him. So those are the kind of things we're bringing into the table, so that the issue of and where is the money going to come from? Because I always tell people, Nigerians are in the diaspora. Ogun State people are in the diaspora. Their foreign own remittance is even more than what they are getting from foreign. We are starting.
How do you mean in diaspora in their state, within the state?
Diasporas outside.
Outside the
I
country.
thought maybe within the state.
We're starting a program. That's part of what we're doing. And we call it Greater Ogun Agenda Linkage. We want to start connecting with the communities, Nigerian communities in all the countries in the world, and telling them, come, this new Nigeria, you need to come and invest. And we create instruments that they will invest in to contribute from where they are, because they can't be complaining Nigeria is not good, Nigeria is not good. Some people made those countries. So part of your own remittance that you're using to build out and all of that, come and use it to buy some investments in some projects here, and they now know that they have contributed in building some major things here. Part of, as we are building those things and people are saying it, we are already taking our money, the money for the workers out. And then we can then build a process of creating funding, a sinking fund for the subsequent ones, so that we don't build arrears again.
All right.
I hope you will remember at all times that the population of Ogun State are not workers.
I know.
Very good.
6.7 million people.
So, very good.
And workers are just 35.
So that by sourcing of the fund, we want to defray all this old money and all the rest. Will not take away from the people necessary amenities.
You know, creating that balance has always been, a tough debate, because I know that some have said, oh, he's building bridges, he's not taking care of the workers. Some have said, if you take care of the workers and there are no infrastructure, how do you get investment into? So creating a balance in that debate as well.
It's a balance.
So let me add the second one. Is that with the labor being in government or out to Kemoson, are you going to assure that it's going to be zero struggle?
We will try.
I want to know.
We will try as much as
the
possible.
perspective.
You get? We will try to reduce. We cannot say that we husband and wife, brother and sister, brother and brother, they have struggle. Me and you, we have struggle. Me and him, we have struggle.
Of course.
Abi, because when he called me that day and I didn't answer on time, he said, it seems that you cannot see this. Yes. I can. Is that not struggle? I said, why is he talking to me like that? So that is struggle. So there will always be a different perspective to things. But what is happening is I put up a process of engagement
for
all, so that people will know. You see, what is happening is this: we and them, government and people, government and workers. When government says us is on the high horse, I'm thinking that we are government and they are workers. So it's only on the negotiating table when the points, the opinions are already fixed. That's when you are talking. But when I come to thank you for what you people have done at Iweru. When I come to Iweru and say, Governor, I be governor. When we get to ourselves like that, and we are relating not officially all the time, we can solve a lot of problems. I am going to be a people's governor. I'm not going to be on the high horse and say, I'm a Bile, I'm a Motown. So I'm not the one that will say, I'm a local. So I didn't just come from, I think 20 years we have said we have met. So it's not going to change. That's what Fashola did in Lagos. It's always at the clubs, everywhere. And he was able to make very tremendous impact. Because those who can meet him in the office, meet him in other places, and they can say, hey, did I done me by you? Yeah. So when you have that kind of relationship, you realize that, see, what is happening is that our people think they are governments. They don't know that we are the ones that elected them. And so when they are in Okemoson, and then they go to where they are going, it's only when we have problem that we cut them. If you want to get me, you know where you are going to get me now. Abi, they say, I have an issue.
It's even good that you are a twin.
If you don't get me, you get my twin brother. so that is the kind of relationship we want to have. We have studied people, Tadenija Adele, Fashola, they have done things like that. Running governments and relating with the people as brothers and sisters, rather than governments that are really we know what is happening with the government that we have in place now. We can't even get them.
All right. Well, we've been speaking with the candidate of the Labour Party, the governorship candidate, Comrade Kehinde Sogunle, this morning on the program. I know there are quite a number of you who have joined us live via Facebook this morning. I know that quite a number of you are also watching us from outside the country. I should very quickly mention and say thank you to Femi Shudunke, who's a member of the editorial board of Femi. I know he's in Canada watching us live. Quite a number of others watching us this morning. Larry coming watching from Ilaru as well. Adiola, Dejuma, and all. But just to mention, some of your thoughts on Facebook this morning. Adiola Dejuma says the way out of Nigeria's current quagmire is new constitution and not necessarily a saint as president. Okay. Larry Lakomi says endorsement of Mr. Obi by former President Obasanjo is nothing unusual, but the unbecoming part of it is when the former president that's supposed to play a role of statesman now decides to trivialize a comment made by Ashwani Tinubu in build-up to his party president former election. Are we not looking in the way of former President Obasanjo, seeing himself as infallible the way he used to rebuke other former leaders? If you were elected as the next governor, this is for you. If you were elected as the next governor, what will you do differently to solve the problem of lack of potable water in the state? And also, how will you reposition Ogun State Water Corporation for better efficiency? Okay, we'll just pen that down. Kudos to your guest. Okay, that's Bolaji Gold. God bless our leader. Okay, thank you. Bikunle Sulaima, if Labour Party can domesticate their agenda into local language for the masses in the state, they are going to Kemoson, no doubt. They have won my heart now. I'm voting for them. He says, okay. Otu Samuel says, you need to work on your publicity, please. He did say that earlier a message saying your party is more popular than you in Ogun State, which is making your third option on Ogun people's mind. You need to work on popularity in Ogun State, even here in Abeokuta South, Labour Party House of Reps, the Biera. I'm sorry, I can't get the rest of that. But he's talking about your popularity as an individual. I don't know. Well, that's a subjective thing because here we are. Folks saying I've known you for 20 years. I've known you for, and I've known the name Kehinde Sogunle since at the time Daniel wasn't governor. I was in secondary school. So I don't know what
not up to 20 years.
I don't know what popularity is, but it's all right. But the earlier question about water. Potable water, yes, and the water corporation, and particularly I'm interested in this because I grew up in Arakonga, where the water corporation is located. I know where it was many years ago. I know what it is now, and the story is not the same. Definitely,
just like light, just like power, the same issue that deal with water. What is the issue with our water and light? It's because we have a centralized generation system. What is centralized? Arakonga is the only source of water. How can we want to cover the whole of Abeokuta from Arakonga? That's an old modeling. That's old infrastructure modeling. The model of today is to have them as decentralized. There are water masses everywhere. Baba did something recently. You know what he did? He did a dam. There's a spring in OOPL and did a dam that is providing water for OOPL. Last week, what did he do? He piped it to a conference hotel. That is what they call decentralized water generation. There are water masses everywhere. A small spring like this can be generated into, and then they create a small processing facility that can then deal with the water of a community. The same thing with power. We have not deconstructed the issues we have about our development. Why should it be? Arakonga was when every Abeokuta was at Ashero and Ibara. Abi? But now, and everybody's been trying to improve Arakonga over the years. But if you face Adigbe and Obada, and you find a water mass that can build an isolated water system, will you provide water for that area? You can even privatize it with service standards. That it may not be you that is even doing it. Somebody is doing the water and piping everybody. With the service standard, it must be 20 hours a day. People will pay for it, just like lights. So, but when we and states have been given this authority to do so, but it's just that when you are not creative and innovative enough, and you have not understood the issues, and you are not reading, there is no problem that we have in the world that we have not found a solution. In Israel, they generate water from air, even when they don't get a water mass. And we need to tap into all of this. And there are development funds to support the generation of those things, if we are sincere with ourselves. So it is to look with a fresh eye at the systems that we have been running and say, is it still working for us? What can we do? What has happened is that we have not attracted enough creative and intelligent people or innovative people into government. People get into it through politics and they have to still learn. 2 years they are still learning, whereas the people are suffering. So those are the kind of things. Water, light, they all can be decentralized, and then you begin to have we call it modular systems.
On this water,
I'm reading something now called financing infrastructure in Africa, and they're talking about how do you provide money for all this infrastructure that we need, because any government that cannot provide it, that can give excuses on infrastructure and say, hey, we don't have enough money, we are just joking. Yes, provide the fund, provide the need, support with the population that you have, and when people see the viability of that, they will pay for it too. You get what I'm saying? People will pay for, at least we will still pay for it. We buy water now.
I just want to leave the water issue. I know you.
Yes, on the water issue, you know why?
I don't know whether you get my modular system.
Yes. Water is life, and you admitted that government should have a roadmap which must be consistent. So what it means is government. Let me tell you vividly. I remember I was part of the commissioning of Olabisi Onabanjo. I don't know how old some people were. This system of Arakonga, there was this mobile generating water. One was at Yanomochwa inside Jeuntutu. It was commissioned by Onabanjo. See, back then, what you are now talking that will be a new thing was established 1982 precisely.
There's one at that time.
But thereafter, because government is not continuous, you understand? And water is life. And can you still tell us more how water will play a good role? No. If you are in government or even outside government, can you push for water for life?
Yes, now. There's even, look, it's a major need in the world. There's a major support by the Sustainable Development Goals for water. Coca-Cola is spending so much money for water provision because they see that they are investing so much to help people in generating water. But if you are not building the case to the people who can fund it, you think it can only be from your own resources.
Well, because I'd love us to go to the phone lines, but just before we do, so that I don't wish away the
know what I'm saying?
earlier comment.
Now, Itoko has, Adaton has, Yanomochari has, which other one? Ijayi, Idaba has. Those modular water systems. But when they started reconstructing the road, they broke everything down.
All right, so that we don't wish away the other question about popularity. Although I said it was
popularity,
subjective. Yes, because the man says
those who think popularity, post-star, all of those kind of things. You see, I served this state for 8 years. I have not left this state for the past 21 years. I've interacted with everybody, every local government in this state. There is no local government that we go to. That local government who has been local government chairman, local government whatever, that does not know me. Even know Oba says he does not know Kehinde Sogunle.
But it's the people that matter,
people think that it is in the and I deliberately did it because I deliberately did some things because I wanted to make a point around our internal issues in the party. Yes, that you get this thing out and let us begin to roll out. And I say roll out, I cannot be jumping about when you have not performed your duty. You get what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, in the structures that we have created, I know that Kehinde Sogunle is not a strange name to anybody, most people in this state.
All right. Well, just let's squeeze in some calls for a minute. The numbers are 0815-432-1079, 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079, 0818-111-1079. Someone did send a very interesting question for you. I'll get to that in a moment. I'm really looking forward to. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning, Wale.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you. I'm Kehinde from Abeokuta. Mr. Sogunle, God bless you. Comrade. Comrade Sogunle, God bless you. Sir? Yes, we are coming together.
This comrade Kehinde.
Exactly, yes.
That's another endorsement.
Talk to us.
I'm unfolding my title today. And I greet my brothers there. God bless all of them. You see, 4 years is enough to do justice to issue of governance. Because let me tell you, 4 years seems like a long time. You can imagine people that are probably making their way now that they wanted to come back. How much they have been able to do. You see, when we say certain things are incurable, I'm an incurable lover of LP. I am telling you, be in particular. I hope Nigeria will never be untreatable when you come back and when you come to power and in Open State too. Let me ask this question, sir. What are you probably going to do at bettering the life of workers? You have said it all, but I still want to know, because the issue of people that you told us about, the elderly, they complain so much. 2014 has been the last time they do the issue of gratuities. I asked this question the same time you were in another radio station. There is no other time than this year for all reasonable responsibility to please align with the third force now, with you, with LP. Seriously, I'm very serious about this thing, like Baba Basanjo. Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Kehinde.
We'll hold on to that. Hold on to that. Please turn on the volume on that radio chat.
Good morning, Wale.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Lashile. Good morning, Kayode Aderiji. My name is Honorable Larry Jaji. Good morning, Kehinde Sogunle. I'm calling from the People's Parliament in Abeokuta. Kehinde Sogunle, what do you think you want to do differently, from what this present governor is doing, probably in terms of, the economy of the, state, civil service, reorganization, etc., etc. Because yes, presently the governor is really giving his best, but his best might not be the best for people. But and I really think that probably if the people of the state is so magnanimous enough to give him a second term, he might be able to do better than what he's doing now. But notwithstanding, what do you think you're going to do differently that's going to be different from what Dapadio is doing now? God bless you.
All right, okay. We'll just take one more and then we'll get your contributions. Hello, good morning, and then we'll get your comments,
Good morning, Wale.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
And I agree with the guests in the house.
Thank you.
I am engineer Afolabi. I'm calling from Songo. I really listen to the guests when it comes to politics. I want to discuss politics. I'm a lover of LP, yes. But in my area here, hardly can you find within the vicinity the sign of Labour Party. That's the truth. And I can tell you, if you want to win election, you need a kind of propaganda. It's normal in politics. Politics cannot be compared with a church administration. Church administration is convergence. It's not the same when you want to manage people and you want to ask people to give you a vote, to give you votes. So I wish you become the governor. At the same time, I want you to go all out. The other parties have been going house to house, which I think is one of the methods for which one can win election. So you need to go out. Don't believe that, yes, Baba is a lover of a LP, likewise me. But at the same time, you need to machinate and make sure you win an election. Good morning.
Good morning. There are quite a number of them. We'll just try to answer them as quickly as possible, Kehinde Sogunle. First of all, as I said, someone did send a very interesting question saying that you worked with the former governor, Winga Daniel, and the expectation is that you are quite close with him. And the person is asking, how is it that you are not in the same party?
He has been in APC and he's going for Senate. I think wants to be an elder statesman.
Has there been a difference in?
There's nothing different about us. Okay. We are shared ideologies, but everybody has platforms.
Because you talk about the things that you did on the email.
You see, people just think that you have to band it together. What is important is interest. His interest is Senate. My interest is governance of Ogun State. Abi? Yeah. Particularly to even build on his own. But the best party you can exercise it is in APC.
You expect his endorsement?
No, because not so that he will not be doing anti-party, but I know that.
You know that what?
I know that he will not abandon his
side.
All right. Now, but he will not do anti-party either. Yeah. So, but you see, in doing the analysis, I found out that the best vehicle for me to actualize my interest is in Labour Party. So, you see, we are all work partners in progress. So I would love him to be in the Senate, even when it could be against my own party. But I would love him because I know the wealth of experience that I will bring to bear. And I also will love me to be in the government house of Ogun State because he knows what I can do.
So you vote for each other.
I'm not voting in Senate at Ijebu. I'm not voting in Ijebu. So it's not going to vote.
Well, someone did ask. Although we spoke about work as a lot.
Okay.
Kari asked that question, but let's talk about someone said what would you be doing differently? Economy, civil service organization, and then he particularly said that this governor has done its best, and I was trying to get your reaction to that particular statement.
I don't need to. About Obi taught us not to be criticizing people too much.
But then it's just an appraisal, criticism and appraisal.
We can do better, far better. Ogun State is not living up to its billing in the Committee of Nations. I went to read the achievements of Jakonde in 4 years. And when I look at what he did, I said, I compare this with what, if this person can do this in 4 years, what has been happening in our state? We can do far better. We can definitely do far better. And that is what I have seen that we can do a lot better. He has tried to the limit of his ability.
If you were to say a rating of 1 to 10?
No, just leave that. What we know is that we will do far better. I know that. It's very sure. It's not. I'm not going to start.
You know the thing is, by the time
let me tell you something.
If you get the chance, by the time you are done, I'm sure a lot of people will be rating you. So seize the opportunity to rate them now.
I don't know. I don't want to be quoted as that to say this or that, but I can do far better. We can do far better. I initially wanted to support the government to do a lot better, but they seem to be closed. You get what I'm saying? They are closed in receiving ideas. So some of us, you cannot discount the experience of people like us. I was in the handover committee of this current governor. So, and I was expecting that they will recognize the value that people like us will bring to bear. And then when you begin to reach out, I've done more than 15 or so proposals to them. Positive proposals. Nothing positive came out of it. Our friends. The SSG is my friend. Salisu is my friend. Close friend. But they don't seem to have the time. We don't have the time for people like us who have spent our time. And we are here. And
maybe sophistication. Maybe sophistication.
What is sophistication?
Because you are Ibile. You said it on this program.
I did sophisticated. We met in Lagos before now. We were together in Lagos.
You are like Ibile.
No, before I came 21 years ago, we were in Lagos. All of us were in Lagos people. I met Atalis in Lagos. I met this guy at GTB.
So why then?
So I came back. But I came back because I just realized that life can be more meaningful here and I can contribute here. And I decided to stay because of what we are trying to do. So, but that's what I see. They are not open enough to ideas. That's just
there was another question
in that case, I cannot then rate. If I rate, it will be a different matter.
There was another question about propaganda, going all out. The man says he's calling from Songo. He says other parties are doing door to door. Maybe you guys haven't gone to Songo yet.
We have a strategy. We have a plan. That will connect to everybody in every polling booth. When it is rolled out, you will see the church. You know what they do in churches?
Isn't it getting late? Because the election is just.
It's not getting late. Even despite that, is it not a committed LP member? If I tell him now to come and to go and form a cell, because we have been unstable in the party, I can tell you that we could not build up quickly to reach out. But we have already used our own different. Churches, what do? They create cells, prayer cells in every location they have. We are replaying that kind of formula very quickly. It's going to happen. Right. So we will get there. We will get to them. And I know people in that Songo area that have been saying, come to this place, come to we will do what we have to do. Within it. There is no time actually, but we will do what we have to do. And I know that in the heart of people, they want to vote Labour. I know that. So the other thing that who was just talking about, I've mentioned it, Kayode is my good friend. He's also endorsed us today. I like it.
I enjoy endorsement.
I'm enjoying endorsement. So we talk about how you can. Look, I know it's a critical need, pension, elder statesmen, gratuity, all of that. That's why I said, a radical problem requires a radical solution. The issue is about funding, and what we are putting on the table is our experience and credibility in funding.
Sure.
And we can always create instruments that will allow funding to be available, not quick enough for us to address that. I know when you address that, everybody will start clapping for you, but we know we can do it.
Okay. Dear customer, you have to try again to call us. 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079. Those are the numbers. Hello, good morning. Turn on the volume on that radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. There's a lot of noise from where you're talking. That I think there's a kid. There's a kid that requires attention, and we won't take the shine away from the kid. So please attend to Amo. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah. So this is my brother. I did the guest.
Okay.
Yeah. So my own opinion is that I live close to their office here, but they are not coming up so that we can take an action for their campaign. So let them not go rely feel that okay, everybody has no labor, everybody has no the shaking. So we need to do more so that people in rural areas, some of my friends that is doing Okada, when they see a public people, some will collect the business at the one which they have had in the kind. So let them come up so that time is not our side, so that we can do more.
All right,
I really enjoy.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your suggestion.
Talking about visibility as well,
We'll work on that. We'll work on that quickly now.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning,
Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to the guests and the other.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to ask Mr. the guest. I have a preview to the finances, the start of finances of the state, and I was told that I can't receive the federal allocation. So as a result of that, it's very difficult to carry out their financial obligation. Now, as the financial expert, I believe you want to boost up the fiscal drive of the state when if by president becomes the governor of the state. How is it going to strike a balance between the? Because mostly we may want to increase the IGR by increasing the tax.
Mm-hmm.
How is it going to balance it without even making the life more unbearable for the people? Because I learned that what is happening in Edo State, in Anambra State, the governor increased the money of service, and people are now lamenting. So how is it going to raise the NPR, most especially the tax aspect of it, without even having...
All right. We get your question already. Without inflicting pain on the people. I think the question is...
let me just say something quickly. Somebody mentioned about how do you want to improve the economy. See, first thing is that before you can generate IGR, you need to increase the economic base of the state. And we have identified about 6 areas that we can almost immediately start to improve the economic base. It's when the economic base increases, that's where the tax can also increase. But that tax that increases is not incidental on one person. It is because the activity there is increasing. So we have identified 5 or 6 areas that we can encourage. One is construction. We want to stimulate funding to do a lot of construction so that a lot of people get to work, and then we can then generate income from that. We're talking about sports. We're not doing enough on sports. We have 4 stadiums in this state. We ran 2006 Gateway Games. And thank God they are doing 2024 now. I'm going to challenge the governor. He should tell us how he's going to finance 2024. We have a model for financing that. That's one thing I would like to engage ourselves on. How does he want to finance 2024? And utilize this as a basis for improving the economy of Ogun State. It's not just for the show. It's also for the economy. But people will recognize that in 2026, in 2006, we use it to improve the economy of Ogun State. So that's sports. Entertainment. We are not doing enough on pushing entertainment. Global entertainment can happen in this state. We have artists that can do it. And we can build a whole structure, architecture around entertainment that will generate funds for an activity for people in Ogun State. Of course, agriculture. Agriculture is also something that we have to push actively, not in the anchor borrower type of thing. It is massive agriculture that will deliver food for us and food for the. We need to define for ourselves what is it that we are offering Nigeria. Feed ourselves and feed even Lagos. Right now today we are just doing skeletal agriculture.
All right.
So then technology itself. Technology is a major driver of everything happening in the world today, and we are not encouraging technology enough. I wrote a business plan or a plan for them on how to utilize the those model schools as tech ops. They did only 1. We could have done 4.
All right.
So and you could know what Flutter Wave and all of them are making today. So we could easily have created something like that.
So someone is asking a question.
Services itself. So when you increase the economy in those areas with high octane activities, you will see the revenue increasing. You make people wealthy, and then life will go on. You know the kind of wealth people generated.
Well, because of our time, Commissioner, please, you can send us a message on WhatsApp, 0815432107. I see some of you trying to talk to us via telephone. I mean, via WhatsApp call. Unfortunately, we might not be able to do that, in the immediate. Lawala Bidemi says, how different are you going to... this is very interesting. How different are you going to lavishly spend masses money? Are you also going to have essays and SSAs that are just earning salaries for doing nothing? Are you also going to live larger than you are now, just like others have been doing?
For those who have known me in the past 20 years, even as Commissioner for Finance for this thing, after being Commissioner for Finance, have I lived larger than myself? I'm just a simple, ordinary person.
They say when you become governor, there's a lot of perks that.
What am I looking for again? That I will not be appointed. Look, I am a value-driven person. Everybody in the government knows. If you work with me, you must be offering value. So I'm not going to be creating, because right now, we are not be creating positions just for the sake of politics. You must be able to offer something interesting. When you engage me, really, that's why I'm a very intense person. When you engage me technically, you know how deep I am.
What's your plan?
For you to survive them working with me, it's not because I will just go and call somebody from the US because it's my friend and we have been doing things together. Come and do something here. No, you must have value. That's why we are starting up our Academy of Policy and Governance. That is where we are going to choose people that are going to serve us, and you must be standing there.
When is that kicking off?
It's taking up. We have done 300 people already.
All right.
And we are starting all over again.
Immediately
after the election, this transition program that they are all going to be doing, it's not going to be transition. Nobody else. We will create the ideas our problems ourselves. So
Abe Fagbemi says, what is your plan for we people in rural area? For instance, in Yewa North, Ijakaoke precisely.
That is my town now.
Any government infrastructure in our
that's
side.
why
No water, no road.
Yes.
It says, please remember when you get to position, Kosomole Nile Yao.
You know what they say is that that's my base.
Well.
You know, I'm coming from Yewa North. That's my mother's town, Ijakaoke. So what he says is that what am I going to do to improve livelihood in Ijakaoke, where I come from? This is Yewa North. And one of the reasons why I come, my father is from Abeokuta, but one of the reasons why I came from, I decided to choose Yewa North, is to be able to anchor development, particularly in Yewa, because they have been shortchanged in the almost more than 40 years of this state. There is no Yewa town that is really developed. Even water. We have neglected them seriously. So, and for my one deliberate focus, what we couldn't get with GNI, I want to champion it. One of the reasons why I supported GNI was for us to be able to get attention on Yewa. And I've seen the potential of those Yewa people. Then we will do it. And they're smart people. So we will focus on them. Not that I will do it at the detriment of other areas, but they need to get a feel of development. We are committed to that.
All right, because of our time, we've got just about 2 minutes before we leave the studio. Gentlemen, Mr. Dimeji, first off, what's your parting shot as we wrap things up this morning?
Thank you very much. My parting shot is also for our guest. I know your party doesn't spend shishi. When are you kickstarting your campaign?
We are starting a moment from now.
And also, it's a news that you said you are coming from Yewa, and I don't think you've been part of this Yewa pushing for somebody to come and all the rest. So I think this is an opportunity for them to know that Yewa is contesting.
No, he says it was part of
I was part of GNI. One of the reasons why I was part of the GNI actively was because I was pushing for Yewa.
No, I said this one in this
one. I know. That's the reason why I'm coming from Yewa. So just to make sure that we get. If we can't wait till 2027. We have to start now. A lot of them are waiting for Yayi in 2027. I said, look, if we can have it now, why can't we have it? Instead of waiting for 2027.
Well, thank you, really. Kehinde Sogunle for being about the program this morning. I know we could go on and on because there's a lot to touch on, but I hope that we'll get another opportunity. The governorship elections will be coming up in March, and although there's a lot of ground to cover, but I'm sure we'll get another chance to talk to you. Actually, we really want to thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. It's a very unique opportunity. First time in the year, and this is a good opportunity for me to just express myself.
Thank you.
And you are the first candidate to come here this year.
Thank you, because I owe my friends now. And you are endorsing me.
I don't trust me. There is no endorsement coming from here.
The guys here are extreme right, extreme left.
There is no endorsement whatsoever coming from here. We've had quite a number of candidates, and we just felt
I'm just
to have you as
I'm
well.
just joking.
I'm sure we'll have more candidates coming on this platform to also talk to the people and let the people know what the options are and get their programs to them. Thank you once again for being a part of the program.
I've really enjoyed our time.
Many thanks to Mr. Ben Lashler. Thank you really for being a part of the program this morning. Happy birthday is it advance or arrears again?
Just
now?
put it anything.
Happy birthday to you. Mr. Dimeji Kari, thank you really for being a part of the program.
You're welcome.
All right. Many thanks to you for investing your time with us. Wale Bakar is my name. Enjoy your Saturday at 11. Luriodon will be coming your way, the best of sports in Yoruba, right here on this dial. Whatever you do, keep it locked on Fresh 107.9. Good morning.
Broadcasting around the world. This is Fresh 107.9, where we keep you fresh all day.
Kùtùkùtù 2023 Ọlọ́run Sáàmù Olúwa ló fẹ́ fàánú yanjú ọ̀rọ̀.
Gbogbo Abẹ́òkúta o. Wòlíì Ọlọ́run aláàyè. Prọfẹ̀sà Olúwalọ bàbá Adámímọ́gò ń bọ̀ wá o. Láti pínlẹ̀ kùtùkùtù ní 2023. Òwúrọ̀ àánú with anointing service. Ọjọ́ Sunday January 15. Nípa àtìríjọ́ Ọlọ́run aláàyè ń bọ̀ wá táṣẹ́. Débi tí Ọlọ́run àrùn ti máa ṣíjú àánú wọlé. Tí bàbá ó sì máa dá òróró ìgbẹ́dídẹ́lẹ́ gbogbo èèyàn lórí o. Ó yẹ kílẹ̀kùn àánú ọ̀ṣẹ́ fún wọn náà nírìn àjò ọdún yìí. Darapọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yà tiẹ̀ dẹ̀. Lọ́jọ́ Sunday 15th January 2023. Látàgọ́ mẹ́fà ìdájẹ́ 6 a.m. Ní Prọfẹ̀sà Olúwalọ bàbá Adámímọ́gò àti máa sọ̀rọ̀ àṣẹ. Àwọn olórin ẹ̀mí Sarah Praise. Olúwa ló ní bí sí. Adámímọ́gò Mass Choir. CAC Adámímọ́gò tó wà lẹ́yìn conference hotel. Láàrin méjì fẹ́ǹsì Lion Club. Àti Civil Defence Training School. Lójú ọ̀nà Secretariat. Golf Club Road. Òkè Mọ̀sán Abẹ́òkúta pẹ̀lú Ògùn.